What's up, guys? It's Lyoko Sector here, and today we're going to do something a little different. And by a little different, I mean I'm not using my clapperboard right now because now the marker won't erase off it. So our intros are both literally and figuratively. Well, not figuratively. You get the picture. It's different. And I've got something different for you. Well, not really different because I did other unboxing videos before, but we're going to be unboxing a new phone today. Isn't that wonderful? So this little bad boy I got here, well, why don't we just get right into the action and I'll show you what it is. It's going to be awkward because I don't have that extra side table with me anymore. My mom actually took it back because it was originally hers, but we're going to focus this right here. Hope you guys can appreciate the angle. All right, getting all the goods in there. The dad's root beer, by the way. Get your minds out of the gutter. But right there is good, I guess. It seems a little more zoomed in than before, but that's okay. I'm just gonna position my microphone as far back out of view as possible. But we got, our little drink cup here. We're gonna get some caffeine-free Dad's root beer, not sponsored by Dad's root beer. My younger brother bought a case of these, so hey, cheers. Oh yeah, there comes the shakes. Let's get it in a proper chalice. We'll just put the cork back on the bottle there for that. We'll have this handy in case I need a little bit of caffeine-free energy. But we're going to do another unboxing video, and you're probably wondering, how's the camera look there? You're probably wondering what it's going to be, so we're just going to get right into it. So I hope you enjoy the angle. I'm working with what I have, okay? So, I mean, give me some props there for that. So let's just get right into it. Very delicately and surgically. Make sure I do not show the one side of the box because that has my address on it. And as much as I love you, viewers, I don't think that's very appropriate for you to know where I live. So we're going to flip that away. And let's see. My fingers. Let's see what we have inside. Have you guessed what it is yet? Seems to be, yes, paper mache. That's what I ordered. No. Oh, yes. It is. You can get a picture of that. The iPhone Air. Isn't that wonderful, guys? Look, see right there. It says right on the box, iPhone. And that lovely monochrome tone. Look how thin this box is, though. If you've ever had an iPhone before, definitely very interesting. We got the iPhone Air in the cloud white 512 gigabyte model because 512 was my Z Fold. But I got this phone because, well, if I had the Z Fold 7, super thin Samsung phone, well then, hey, when Apple announced a super thin iPhone, I immediately had to jump on the bandwagon there. So I went ahead and bought this iPhone Air, and I'm like, hey, it'll be a pretty cool unboxing video for you guys. So let's just go ahead and do all that. Well, there's a return shipping label in there, so I'll keep that all to the side. And let's go ahead and unbox this iPhone. So, all right. So, I mean, I've already showed you iPhone Air at the top there. So let's go ahead and get her opened up. Ooh, which side shall I start with first? Top or bottom? Let's ask our Magic 8 Ball. Am I going to start on the bottom? Very doubtful. Top it is. Which is my preference, if you get what I mean. Let's keep it professional, William. I mean, the Lyoko Sector, damn it. I'm doxing myself. It was inevitable to slip out anyways. All right, so let's start here from the top. Let's get a nice little clicks here. I have some thoughts on Apple. My first phone ever actually was an iPhone 4 back in the day. Don't mean to brag. But I got my first phone when I was 14 years old. And it was an iPhone 4. And I've had the iPhone 4, the iPhone 7, and then I think those were the only two iPhones I've had. Didn't stay in the Apple ecosystem for long. Granted, it was a wonderful time back in the day being in the Apple ecosystem, but well, let's just say that I was, unlocking my phone in many ways, breaking it out, if you might say. And I was doing all kinds of cool stuff, but then when they became more restrictive on that kind of stuff, I inevitably switched over to Android and or Samsung. So, and I mean, there's a lot of cool things about Apple nowadays. Not saying they're a bad company, but I mean, like all major companies that have all the money and the power in the world, they could do so much more good and take care of their employees and all that kind of stuff. Not saying that Apple doesn't do that, but just in general, And a lot of these huge major companies could do so much more, and they choose not to. They choose to focus on money and profits and greed and all that awful stuff. But, when they have duopolies or monopolies or anything, not saying that about Apple, but you know what I mean? Talking points. Well, yeah. So anyways, so I have an iPhone Air because I was interested in the super thin iPhone because I have a super thin Galaxy, and that's why I got it, okay? And despite my grievances with Apple, call me a hypocrite, whatever you want. I mean, you can, if you pay money for something, you should be allowed to complain to it. I've mentioned that statement before, so, I stick by that. So let's go ahead and unbox this iPhone. Because iPhones are an experience, and it's not pulling off uniformly. All right, there we go. And I did get the white color for this one. Gives me, very reminiscent of older iPhone aesthetics with like the clear and the white and stuff like that. Also very interesting that the phone starts out screen side up as opposed to other phones iPhones that I've opened in the past where like the camera in the back glass side is forming up. But it looks like my little pull tab is right here. Okay, so get some ASMR for that. Ooh. Yes, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna set that back in there for a second. Put this back because I got to collect all the packaging, man. Got to keep it all pristine. Helps with the resale value. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here she is, the new, first of its kind iPhone Air. Let's get a nice look at that. Get a view of that plateau right there. I mean, look at how thin that is. I mean, compared to my Z Fold, it's not helping. It's not helping the comparison. Hold on. If just the camera could focus, you get the idea. It's super thin, but that nice white color. Ooh, that old school Apple vibes and stuff like that. So this is the iPhone Air. Very lovely, very beautiful. So, and I guess I'll talk a little bit about the iPhone 17 launch in general, because this is not called the iPhone 17 Air. This is called specifically the iPhone Air, not with a 17 in it. So I guess they want the Air lineup to be like a separate, distinct phone. Or series of phones, I guess you could say. So, yeah, this is 17. This is not 17. This is the Air. And then they have the regular 17, the 17 Pro, and the 17 Pro Max. Both very compelling, all very compelling options. The 17, especially just the regular one, is very enticing by itself. But you know me, I gotta have the super thin, super light phone, and just having it in my hands right now, it is really nice. Made of titanium metal. So the Pros and the regular 17 are actually made of, excuse me, aluminum metal. This now, which apparently is more efficient and helps with cooling and stuff like that. But the Air specifically is made out of that titanium metal, and I imagine that's because of how thin it is. They want the titanium, the more strength of the titanium to kind of keep the frame together and stuff like that. A lot of cool videos like the Jerry Rig Everything video stress testing my iPhone, which it surprisingly made it through. The Gauntlet, which is very impressive, of course. But yeah, very, very nice, very beautiful. So let's kind of finish the unboxing experience, I guess. eSIM only for the iPhone Air, which, trying to find room for a SIM tray in there, I can understand that for sure. But I mean, still disappointing that there's no option for a physical SIM tray or expandable storage. But I mean, if they've gotten it to this thinness now, so I mean, like the Z Fold, it's you're the only way left is up at this point. You know what I mean? So got this nice, lovely braided USB-C to USB-C cable in the box, as you can see there. No charging block. I mean, remember when iPhones used to come with charging blocks and used to come with, remember when they used to come with headphones and stuff like that? Those were the days. So we've got this lovely little instructional pamphlet here. Pretty sure. iPhone. Yes, if we didn't know that already. You no longer need a physical SIM card. Apple.com/SIM. So if you need any information on that, go check that out. For using iPhone, review the iPhone user guide at support.apple.com/guide/iPhone. Retain documentation for future reference. Hearing aid compatibility. So that's something that's really cool. iPhone is hearing aid compatible as determined by ANSI C63.19-2019. iPhone supports volume control, the conventional gain of 15 decibels with hearing aids and 18 decibels without hearing aids. Note 2000. Okay, yeah, just a whole bunch of jargon. But yeah, pretty cool. Always nice. I'll just wrap that up nicely back into the packaging there. If I can do that. But yeah, remember when iPhones used to have headphones and a charging block and all that kind of stuff? Now it's just another block, which, I can understand them doing it for like environmental reasons. But I mean, you have to make the charging block separately anyways for people who want to buy them. So it's like at the end of the day, you're not really reducing your environmental input that much. I guess you could say like short term because you're making less packaging for the stuff. But I mean, this phone, the base model, the 256 base model, I mean, that's, $1,000. So like, I mean, if we're going to be spending this much money, the least you could do is throw in a freaking charger, Apple. But I mean, that's been their whole game. Money and shareholders and all that kind of stuff over consumerism and the environment and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, what are you going to do? Duopolies, monopolies, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, so pretty standard packaging. I'll go ahead and just, wrap this all up nice and pretty and put that back in the box, and then we'll continue on with our iPhone Air experience. So just set that there. Oh, let me get the crap. Now it's sealed. And it's so light that it's like there's barely any weight behind it. All right, just shove that in there. Those in there. Pull tabs, resale value, everything. Excuse me. Right, this thing's pretty stubborn. This helps with the resale value, William. Damn it, I doxed myself again. I guess it does. It's not like that because, you know. All right, there we go. Box shut. All right, so now just iPhone. But yeah, some more things about the Air and the 17. So yeah, titanium metal on these ones, which helps with durability, less so with conductivity and like heat dispersion and stuff like that. So not as cooling efficient as like the Pros on the 17 with like the vapor chambers and stuff like that. New vapor chambers on the, I think it's on the Pros. I don't know if it's in the regular 17. I can't remember off the top of my head. Price, now that's another interesting thing. So the price of the 17s are about the same as the 16s, which, I mean, if you got a 16 and didn't want to wait for the 17, I feel really bad for you because you could have gotten so many better phones. So you could have gotten better phones for the same price. But, and I've heard some of the trade-in deals are pretty good too. But I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, I've definitely been wanted a phone in my hands rather than wait for the new one to come out in a few months. So I definitely understand it. But I mean, 17s do look really nice. 120 hertz refresh rate across the board on all the screens. There's no difference. There's no like 60 hertz on the base phone and then 120 hertz on the Pros. It's 120 hertz across the board, which, I mean, I've never really. I mean, as a video gamer, I care about frames and refresh rates and stuff like that, but I mean, not really. In terms of like my phones, because like I don't game on my phones, and I don't really care for it too much. For the smoothness, I mean, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's never been a big thing for me. But it just kind of further reduces that gap between the Pro phones and the regular phones. So again, like I was saying, the base 17 is pretty good looking. 256 gigabyte base model, so no longer 128. So that's another thing that kind of bridges that gap too, which is kind of crazy. 256 is where we're starting at. You know, remember when we were at like 64 gigabytes and stuff like that? You know, show off the phone some more, get a nice zoom in of the plateau if I can get the camera to focus. If I can get it to focus. Yeah, there you go. Nice little look at that. Got our nice volume button and our programmable action button, as well as our power button and camera button right there, which is really nice. And then aluminum metal on the Pros and the regular 17, which helps with cooling and stuff like that. And also much more cheaper, which I guess a lot of the decisions that they made with these phones was in part to kind of keep costs as low as possible. But I mean, with Apple, they're always going to charge a premium. But like, and because of tariffs and stuff like that, and to kind of avoid material fees and stuff like that. So I'm surprised the prices weren't really that much higher, if at all, changing from the 16s last year. So, and then we also got some new Apple Watches, SE Gen 3, Series 11, and the Ultra 3, which are pretty cool, 5G connectivity. I think they're also beta testing or free, like 1 year free trialing the satellite connectivity, which is pretty good for like location and texting. So that's pretty cool. And a new set of AirPods with the live translation and stuff like that, which is really cool. Same price as the old AirPods. So it's like if you bought the old the second gen AirPods Pro 2 or whatever, then, you know, you missed out on getting the 3s. But again, like, I mean, what are you going to do? So yeah, let's get this bad boy powered on and kind of go from there. Get a look at this beautiful display here. Another thing, so obviously if you're getting a super thin iPhone, you are going to have some downsides. especially for the price that you're paying for, which is this one, being the 512 gig model on this one. But one camera, as you can see, base model 17 has 2 cameras. Pros have 3 cameras. You've got your main camera, ultra wide, and telephoto. I think there are 48 megapixels across the board for each of those. But the Air, being a super thin, compact phone, obviously it had to sacrifice that ultra wide camera lens. Which, I mean, they probably could have stretched out the dynamic island if they wanted to. Or dynamic island is this black bar right here. The camera, I mean, the plateau, I mean to say. I feel like they definitely could have stretched this out to add that, at least get the ultra wide in there, so it's at least comparable to the regular 17. But I mean, when they're trying to be super thin, I can definitely understand why they want to, you know, sacrifice it. But I mean, like I said, again, we got this to super thinness right now, so I mean, the only place we can go is up at this point, right? So they can improve the space and the storage and the battery. Battery is another big thing that's a contender for this one. I think this has the worst battery out of any of the new iPhones this year. But I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, this phone it's not all about compromises, but I mean, it's definitely compromising on a good couple of things. But I mean, to get that thinness, I mean, look at that. Like, it's just ridiculous how thin that phone is. You know what I mean? And I have a thin phone in the Samsung Z Fold 7, so it's like, I'm okay with like sacrifices like that. And it just gets better from here. So, but yeah, so we got that opened up. We'll go through the setup process here. English, United States, default, medium, large. Default's good. I do not have another iPhone nearby. I'm going to connect to the home Wi-Fi real quick. Definitely feel it getting a little warm, just a teeny bit warm back there. Okay, confirm phone number, zip code. Another interesting story about this. So I got this through my cell phone provider. So obviously I pre-ordered and I had them ship it to me. It required a signature for delivery, but unfortunately I had to work the day it was arriving. So, and my apartment complex has a package room. So a lot of deliveries, especially when they need signatures, will look at that package room and be like, oh, sorry we missed you. We'll send it to you back another day. And it was just, I spoke with customer service on the phone with FedEx for so long. They're like, yeah, well, your provider put a restriction on there. So unfortunately, you can't not make it require a signature and you can't not have us hold it at a facility for pickup. So we're going to have to try to redeliver it and sign for it, which I think is absolute BS. But I mean, I get it. People's phones are getting stolen in the mail. What are you going to do? But at the same time, if I can provide the necessary information and I have the email for the order and stuff like that, I mean, let me do something. Let me pay to remove the restriction. I don't know. But don't do that, actually. FedEx. But what ended up happening is, because I got it delivered on Friday when it launched, and then they missed me. They're like, yeah, so we're not actually going to be doing deliveries until Monday. And I'm like, so I'm going to have to wait the weekend for that? And they're like, yeah, unfortunately. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, yeah, I'll do an update. Might as well get used to that glass update. I meant to say glass, not ass, even though the update, iOS 26, that one Apple guy, Sam Tucker, go look him up. He's pretty hilarious. But I loved how he was like, introducing iOS's newest aesthetic liquid ass. It's just the most hilarious thing ever. So yeah, so we'll get that update down. But anyway, so I'm like, well, great. I don't want to wait till Monday. So I'm like, is there anything I can do? And they're like, well, it's going to be held at this warehouse over the weekend, so you could go there and pick it up yourself. And I'm like, all right, well, give me the address, and they did, and it wasn't that far for me. And so I went there this morning before work, and I said, hey, my package is being held here. I'd like to pick it up, please. And the lady there was really super nice. She's like, great. I'm like, cool. Showed her my ID, signed for it, got it, went home, put it away before I went to work. Perfect, right? And then, but before I left, I was like, hey, is there any complaint that I can put in for the driver skipping my address? Because like I put in the notes in my shipment, hey, deliver to my front office. They are allowed to sign for me. And they just skipped me, you know? And it was, and she's like, oh, well, the driver's new. That's going to be his route, so I'll put a note in. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. If the guy's new and he doesn't know the apartment that well, then that's fine. But I mean, seriously, it feels like anytime people see that package room when they're delivering packages that need signed, they're just like, oh, not here. Meanwhile, I had an international package come to me one time, and the guy literally called my phone number, and he's like, yeah, I'm down here in the package room. I got your order. I need you to sign for it. I'm like, great. Like, not even a reach out. I mean, come on, FedEx. What's going on here? But, yeah, fun stuff. So we're just going to download this glass update and go on to it. I've messed around a little bit with iOS and like iOS 18 a little bit, and I've dabbled a teeny bit in iOS 26. iOS 26, they're Apple doing they announced liquid glass, and iOS 26, they're like streamlining all of their iOSs. So, you know, it's iOS 26, Apple iPad OS 26, Vision Pro OS, Apple Watch OS 26, like all of their different iOS operating systems are now going to be all unified under one number, which is going to be the number of the year that they're active on or something, I guess. Which I guess is better than having iOS 18, Watch OS 9, Vision Pro OS 3, and all that kind of stuff. So, but, you know, some people aren't really a fan of the iOS 26, the liquid glass aesthetic. I think it's kind of cool in some parts, but it's definitely not as aesthetically pleasing on the other parts. Everyone's kind of like doing minimalist after minimalist, and it's just kind of ruining the character and design of some icons and brands and stuff like that. But I mean, what are you going to do? We just got to come out with brands that are good and detailed and have character and all that kind of stuff. But all these big corporations, man, I don't know what they're doing. Get a nice little top off. Okay, not much of a top off there. Oh well. So, so yeah, but apparently iOS 26 has actually been pretty buggy, and a lot of people are wanting to revert back from iOS 26 to iOS 18. If you're on iOS 18 still, turn off automatic updates if you want to stay on iOS 18. If you have automatic updates, you've probably already updated to iOS 26. From what I understand, there's not an official way to go back to iOS 18, but I've seen videos on YouTube. There's like some cheeky method you can do with like backing up your phone and restoring it if it was backed up on iOS 18 or something like that. You guys can find the videos online. I'm not going to try and guide you through the whole process, but there's potentially methods out there to go back to iOS 18 if you don't like iOS 26. Me, I don't really much care for it. I'm probably not going to use this phone too much just because it's my work phone and still starting out my YouTube career, so I'm not necessarily getting a lot of phone calls right now for stuff. But we'll have fun with it for a little bit. It's nice. It'll be nice to have two super thin phones. And I've got a funny case that I saw that I wanted to get and show you here in a little bit. Well, I guess I can get that right now. So this is the case that I got for it. The Matter Clear Snap case. And this thing is pretty hilarious, guys. So I don't know if you noticed something, but something about this case is different from other cases. Now, I thought Samsung was kind of egregious with like the half case, you know, but still charging full price for a case. Now, granted, this was like an exclusive offer. It's actually carbon fiber. It's pretty cool. I've been pretty satisfied with it. And cases on folding phones, unless you get the super bulky, like overall protection kind of cases, usually the smaller ones are very flimsy on the top part. So I kind of partially understand just doing a half case for the Z Fold 7, and it looks and it functions well enough. It covers, you know, some corners of the phone and all that kind of stuff. But then here comes Matter with this like god awful. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it definitely seems all right, I guess. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I don't know if you noticed, but like it sticks on the back of your phone via MagSafe. There's no covering of the corners of the phone. So I guess we'll go ahead and we'll just put that on there. Yeah. Well, it's on there for sure. So there we go. So the back glass and the plateau and the camera is at least protected. Nothing's going to get through that unless something specifically like gets in between it when it drops. So I mean, I guess it's kind of cool enough. It's got this little ridge at the bottom here so that you can take it off pretty easy, I guess. Yeah, so I mean, I guess better than nothing, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily like protect the corners of the phone or anything like that. So I mean, you know, hits on the ground and stuff like that. I guess the back glass. Well, I mean, apparently the back glass is pretty durable in a lot of people's testing, but yeah, what are you gonna do? So I mean, I guess it's still MagSafe compatible, which is nice. But here we go, the new update. All right, appearance. I do not have another Apple device. This is actually the first iPhone I've personally owned in a good long while. Data and privacy, we know that. We protect your data as long as we can use it and share it with people that we choose, even though, you know, they claim the opposite. I'm not saying anything specific about Apple. I am an adult, hopefully. Face ID, I guess I might as well do that since they don't have fingerprints anymore. All right, give me a second while I do get this set up. Face ID complete. You don't use Face ID. Use Face ID with mask. Don't use Face ID with mask. I will not set up with a mask. Thank God we are past those times. Hopefully we don't have to do it in the future. All right, don't transfer anything because I don't have a device. I guess I can. I guess I'll need an Apple account to download stuff from the App Store. I haven't had an Apple account in forever. Actually, I don't know if I've actually had an official Apple account. I remember using iTunes back in the day. I wonder if iTunes is still a thing. Do they still have a Windows desktop version? I am gonna probably want to load some music on here eventually. Oh wait, I should be using my persona email. that being Lyoko Sector. Oh wait. I was trying to type it in like I had one, but I don't have one, so I need to actually create one. I'm an idiot. First name Lyoko, last name Sector. Should I use my Gmail or my Yahoo email? That's not going to be able to answer that. Will I use my Yahoo or my Gmail? That's not going to answer it. Will I use my Yahoo email? Don't count on it. Okay, I thought so. Gmail it is. Announcements. Receive Apple emails and communications, including announcements, marketing recommendations, updates about Apple products, services, software. I guess. Password. Must be 8 characters, include a number uppercase letter and a lowercase letter. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't cause me any inconveniences in the future. Continue. Agree to the terms and conditions. I wonder if there's a forced arbitration clause in there. Dad's root beer. Go grab yourself some. Get them at Cracker Barrel. Update your iPhone automatically. I am going to only download automatically. Location services, sure. Need to use maps anyway. Screen time. Get a weekly report with insights about your screen time and set time limits for apps that you want to manage. You can also use screen time on children's devices. Continue. Analytics, I don't need to share any of that. To see if the iPhone, just depending on what you choose, I am a nice dark mode fan. I'll do that. Apple Intelligence. Prepare new ways. Yeah, I guess I'll set up Apple Intelligence. Summarize notifications. Beta. Use Apple Intelligence to summarize the contents and notifications you receive, making them easier to see at a glance. Choose notifications to summarize. News and entertainment. Summarization may change depending. Communication and social. Choose notification to summarize. Okay. Do I want this? This is a beta feature. Summaries may contain errors, of course. Like all AI things. Am I right, guys? I guess news and entertainment, I don't want that. Communication, I guess that's fine. Other apps, I'll do that. Priority notification. Notifications that may be important in a separate section on the lock screen. You can catch up with what you missed. Sure, I'll try out priority notifications. Why not? This is the more premium experience, I suppose. Maybe not. But I'll try the AI features on this thing. Camera control, light pressure to adjust zoom, exposure, and more. I do like that feature. A nice little handy camera button right there. Visual intelligence with camera control. Click and hold the camera control to learn more about the world around you. Okay. That's cool. Kind of like circle to search. Action button. Use and customize action button. I do like do not disturb, although the visual intelligence. Okay, so I could map it to that. Flashlight, that one's always handy. Voice memo, recognize music. I could be like log something. The day 365 of using the iPhone Air. My battery is still shit. Translate, magnifier, shortcut, accessibility, no action. No, recognize music. Find out what song is playing nearby or on your phone with Shazam. Cool. Yeah, flashlight's pretty handy. Just be like, bam. Also will drain the battery, though. Visual intelligence. I mean, that's already default to the camera, same as the camera button. Voice memos, record personal notes, musical ideas, and more. Recognize music. I do sometimes need to recognize music, but not immediately. Translate phrases or have a conversation with someone in another language. That one could be kind of handy, I guess. I'll let map it to the flashlight and change it later. You can reprogram it. I mean, that's a nice benefit of it. So it is a little warm on the back, but it's nothing too egregious. Siri is an intelligent assistant. I remember Siri back in the day. That was one of the coolest features I ever had on my iPhone before. I loved using Siri. It was just crazy what she could do at the time. And, Siri's kind of fallen on the wayside, Siri could have been like the ultimate AI assistant, but Apple never gave her the love that she needed. So she's not up to snuff any day nowadays. So I guess I'll set this up then. You can say Siri or Hey Siri or hold the side button. Okay. Double tap to Siri, double tap the bottom edge of the screen to type your request. Okay. You know what? I'm going to cancel that because I do not want Siri to be listening in. I do not want her waiting to hear her name be spoken. Never really been a fan of like devices like that. Share audio recordings to help improve Siri and dictate. Is she exactly what I said? No, thank you. Emergency SOS, crash detection, satellite, emergency SOS via satellite in certain select countries. Like I said, I think they're beta testing the satellite on the watches. Get started. All right, well, now I got to confirm that Siri's not listening to me. Cool, and there we go. We're in. I don't know how well you can see that, but the new Liquid OS update. I mean, Liquid Glass. I'm sorry, I just love it. It's just so funny. But even though I'm not laughing, but it's funny. Watch the video. All right, well, that's the new iPhone Air, guys. If you like the video, please feel free to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you want to see more iPhone content, iPhone Air content, if you would like to see some more iPhone Air content, be sure to like and subscribe. Sorry, guys, I'm so tired. Like and subscribe, comment, you know the whole deal. Nah, I got to do that better. No. Guess I could do this. So there you go, guys. If you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to see some more iPhone Air content in the future, be sure to let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's the Yoko Sector. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye, guys.